All right, so we only have three questions left, 1, 2, and 6, and we'll be done with the passage. So why did we do the specific questions first? So one, it's easier to start with the specific questions, and two, it makes doing the general questions a lot easier. We now have a better feel for what the passage is about um, to do the general questions. Imagine if we did um, one or two, like look at one. Imagine if we did this first. Which choice best describes what happens in the passage? Well, we didn't read anything, so this one's kind of tough, especially using our strategy with the piece by piece method. So again, let's start with one. We're going to use the same strategy for the general questions as we did with the specific questions. We answer the question on our own and then go back to the answer choices and we eliminate. Which choice best describes what happens in the passage? Well, again, let's give a real answer, like just a short answer. Akira um, asks Chi, the mom, to marry Naomi. Really, that's what happens in the passage. It's basically Akira asking mom for Naomi's hand in marriage. Now let's go to the answer choices and eliminate the ones that are least like what I just said. One character argues with another character who intrudes on her home. Again, really, is there any argument there? Really, I don't see any argument. If you go, now we could interpret this, but really, if we look directly at the text, we don't see any argument. We could interpret that there's an intrusion. It's like, oh gosh, Akira must be intruding on their home, but never does it say that Akira is intruding. So again, and it's also not what we just said. What happens? Akira asks the mom, Chi, for Naomi to marry Naomi. That's wrong. One character receives a surprising request from another character. Well, one character that this we could keep this. It's not exactly what we said, but this does happen. One character, Chi, the mom, receives a surprising request. The request is, to marry her daughter from Akira. So let's keep this. One character reminisces about choices she has made over the years. Okay, this is clearly wrong. D. One character criticizes another character for pursuing an unexpected course of action. Again, the unexpected course of action could be just, asking the marriage proposal, but there is no criticism. You know, Chi doesn't directly criticize Akira. And again, think about the main point, you know, about what's happening. Basically, the main point is the marriage proposal. So we're left with B. Number two, which choice best describes the developmental pattern of the passage? Um, Again, we could just answer. This one's kind of tough. I guess about pretty much 99% of the questions on the SAT we could answer ourselves. This one is kind of hard to create an own answer and then jump to the answer choices. But we can still use our practice of eliminating. So the developmental pattern, basically, if we could try to answer it in our words, so like Akira goes, talks to the mom, explains the situation, and um, you know that he wants to marry Naomi. A careful analysis of a traditional practice. Well, Akira breaks tradition, and it's not analyzing a traditional practice at all. B, a detailed depiction of a meaningful encounter. Well, I guess that meaningful encounter may be just the encounter, Akira asking Chi um, for Naomi's hand in marriage. So I guess we could keep that one. C, a definitive response to a series of questions. There's no series of questions. And it's just Akira wanting to marry, asking Naomi's mom to marry her. A cheerful recounting of an amusing anecdote. An anecdote is a story. So is it a cheerful recounting of an amusing story? No. So we're left with B. Lastly, number 6. In the passage, Akira addresses Chi with what? If I take a peek at the answer choices, it's all these adjectives like affection, objectivity. So what does Akira address Chi with? I know I'm not supposed to jump to the answer choices, but I'm just kind of thinking, okay, well, it has to be like some sort of adjective. So I'm going to go back to the passage and see when he first has his first encounter with Chi. As he bowed, his hands hanging straight down, so he bows to Chi. Then the first time he speaks, he says, Madame, forgive my disruption. He stole a deferential peek. Deferential means respectful. I don't want to trouble you. So and if you read on, even more examples of Chi being respectful to her. If you look at the rest of the passage, 76, he bows again when he leaves. Then like in 71 or 72, 73, my humble apologies. So he's being very respectful. He's being very polite. He addresses Chi with politeness, I guess, and respect. Now let's go to the answer choices and eliminate the ones that are least like what we just said. Affection, but not genuine love. Nothing about affection or genuine love. It's about politeness and respect. Objectivity, but not complete impartiality. Again, no. Respect. Amusement, but not mocking disparagement, of course, is wrong. And that leaves us with respect, but not utter deference. So now we've finished the entire passage. So I hope that helped. Again, this is all about reading the passage piece by piece and basically doing the questions in a way that makes sense to us. So when we start, we're kind of doing the questions as we're reading. And instead of reading the passage all at once, because a lot of times we read the entire passage, it's too much to absorb. So we're just absorbing it piece by piece and answering the questions piece by piece, a much more efficient way to do things. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next lesson.